Rock stars, let's dive into something game-changing. Hypervac Technologies, leaders in air duct cleaning innovation. Did you know that they started as a small family-run cleaning business in southern Alberta back in the 1980s? That's right. They've walked in your shoes and understand exactly what you need to succeed. Hypervac has taken that hands-on experience and turned it into powerhouse solutions like the Revolution 360 vacuum and the cutting-edge Cobra View camera system. These tools aren't just designed to clean. They're here to redefine efficiency, helping you tackle more jobs with less hassle. Here's what sets them apart. Their top-selling non-PTO air duct truck has become the gold standard in North America. Add to that immediate worldwide shipping, overnight freight to Canada and the USA, and every product being built right here in North America, well, you've got a partner who's invested in your success. But let's talk impact. Hypervac's mission is bigger than just cleaning ducts. It's about making every breath count because, as they say, your ducts are your lungs. With over 40 years of industry excellence, they're the trusted choice for professionals around the globe. So whether you're looking to upgrade your equipment or start the next big chapter in your business, Hypervac has your back. Head over to www.hypervac.com to see how they're helping pros like you take the industry by storm. Welcome to episode 236 of the Business Development Podcast, and today we sit down with Chloe Wu, a global wine industry expert whose journey from China to France to Canada is nothing short of inspiring. From building markets in Bordeaux wineries to launching her own liquor agency in Western Canada, Chloe shares what it takes to bet on yourself in a new country. Stick with us. You won't want to miss this episode.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 236 of the Business Development Podcast. And on today's expert guest interview, I bring you Chloe Wu. Chloe is a seasoned professional whose journey spans continents and industries. Born in China and educated in France, Chloe's passion for wine ignited during her time studying international business and wine commerce at Université Blaise Pascal. Her career began in Bordeaux, where she developed the Chinese market for wine exports. Returning to China, Chloe honed her skills in roles from channel sales representative to importing director at the Coca-Cola company, shaping strategies that bridged markets and propelled brands to new heights. In 2023, Chloe took her expertise to Canada, founding Adventure Trading, a premier liquor agency specializing in fine wines. Her career is a testament to her unyielding drive and visionary approach, culminating in a bold new chapter of entrepreneurial success. Chloe's transformative impact on the global wine and spirits industry is not just a story of professional triumph, but a beacon of relentless ambition and innovation. Chloe, it's an honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Kelly, for such fantastic introduction for me.
Man, we've been planning this show for a while, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I think we connected I want to say January of this year, January 2024, and it is now August of 2024. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun. Heck, you even moved since the last time that we talked.
Yeah, I've moved to Vancouver since May because I have taken my time to visit several cities in Canada, and I think Vancouver is a nice city with beautiful scenery and active economy. So I decided to move here because also I found more business opportunity in Western Canada of liquor business. So for personal and for professional reason, I made my move to Vancouver. And I will be back to Alberta every 1 or 2 months to visit customers, to visit new liquor stores, etc. So we might have time to meet next time.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's tough for me to get around. Unfortunately, I do try my best to get out and into the world, but it's easier said than done. But I do try to make it happen from time to time. I'm actually really excited about this because you're actually my first person from the wine industry. First off, and you're also technically my first import export business. So I'm really kind of pumped to chat about that with you. Not to mention, you recently immigrated to Canada. You've been here what a year at this point?
Yeah, a year. I've been to Canada in end of May last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not my first newcomer to Canada, but I love talking with Canadian newcomers, especially ones like you who come to Canada and are just like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to jump on and make this happen because I find that incredibly, incredibly impressive. I really do. I find it so impressive when people not just move to a new country, but take that jump into entrepreneurship at the same time, because both of those things to me seem like incredibly scary. So I always love to hear the story. I want to know the journey, but your journey is so cool because this isn't your first time going to a different country. You spent time in France as well. You were born in China. But before we get into it, just tell us, who is Chloe Wu? How did you end up on this journey?
Yeah. In fact, I think move to new country was a huge challenge for me as well, because I remember the time when I first went to France. I didn't have any friend there. I didn't speak French fluently. And even though I have working experience, but I have never been to North America before. And I speak English, but my English level is not as native speaker. And I didn't know the culture, local culture. So
Yeah.
there are many challenge when I moved to a new country. That was a reason why, in fact, it wasn't a sudden decision. I took almost 2 years to study Canada, population, economy, and different provinces, and also different industries, including specifically wine and beverage industries. And lucky thing is that I worked for for Coca-Cola, and who is a strong player in North America, even globally in soft
Yeah.
drinks. So I had some connection in North America, even though I have never been here before. And I have some friends who are immigrants to Canada, because the Asian culture is part of Canada community right now, especially in Vancouver.
Yeah.
1 of 5 people are Asian.
Wow.
So it there has a bigger community in BC province. So I will start my story. I was born and raised in Sichuan province. That was the central part of China. And the province has over 80 million of people. So,
Wow.
so two double than Canada, and it was a famous homeland of panda and spicy hot pot. So when I was a child, I have a curious characteristics. I'm like you, genuinely curious about everything.
Yeah.
I like to study. I like to travel. So I listen to pop and rock music since my teenage. So I watch series like Friends. So that's what opened the door for me to language learning. So I started to learn English and French since my middle school and high school. So I'd say from my teenager, I already started to learn language, and language is like a door to culture. So learning language give me the access to movie, in French movie, English movie, so like music, etc., art. So that really opened the door for me to know more about other cultures. And at the age of high school, many of our classmates, China has a booming class of middle class population. So
Yeah.
many of my classmates now thinking of going abroad to do their studies. And one of my best friends, who is older than me, decided to go to France for her postgraduate studies. So I was thinking maybe France would be a good choice because at that age, the popular countries are Australia and England, sorry, and America, most popular country for Chinese to study abroad. Even few people think about Europe because you need to know the languages. If you go to Italy,
Yeah.
you need to speak Italian and Spanish. All the European countries have their own languages. So at that time, few people went to Europe for studies. But I think France would be a good attraction for the girls. They have fashion, luxury,
Yeah.
cosmetic, etc. At that time, I didn't think about wines. I just want to go to the country. So I made that decision. I went to France at the year of 18 after high school, and I have stayed there for 8 years. Unimaginable, you know.
Yeah.
So with my time in France, the wine is everywhere. Everywhere is a wine region. So the wine is a daily drink when I was in France, and I started to be interested in wines and the wine industry. And after the master, I had two choices. One is go to Carrefour as a management trainee, and the other is go to Bordeaux to a wine producer. And I think wine is the best business card in France. So I made that decision to move to Bordeaux. At that time, I was the only one who speak Chinese, who can help the company to develop their China market, and who can also speak French and communicate with the company. So it's a perfect role for me to
Yeah.
based in France and develop the China market. So my first role as a in wine industry is like a sales representative. It's like I call everyone to develop. Hey, we are such company. We're producing such wines, and we're exporting to China market, and want to expand our China market. Are you interested to know more about our products, etc.? I have huge challenge of being rejected by the people. Then because I'm calling the China customers from France,
Yeah.
and they don't know me and they don't know who I am. So that was huge challenge, and I have rejection every day. And even some people just hang up the phone when I not finished my speaking. So that really that experience made me how to say that my sales experience become solid, like because I have treat every rejection, as a salesperson and a sales development person, you need to know how to treat the rejections because we may be rejected every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when was a time in Bordeaux, I traveled to each wine producing regions and visit most of the producers there. So I started my wine journey from the vineyard. I see how the grape is uh, harvested, vinified, etc., bottled from production. And then I was thinking China is a booming market because they has 1.4 billion of people there, and there is a huge increase of middle class who is searching sophistication. So the wine become a very booming industry in China, and it's important to immerse in the market, to develop the market. So I made that decision to go back to China to better understand the market because we can only understand the product production to develop the market. So I went back to China in 2015, and my journey to learn about the market started. And at that time, many wine producers enter into China and establish their subsidiaries or office in China to develop market. So that was a time in China I really started how a brand entered into China and started from zero to build their brand and build their distribution channels. As you know, wine may have many consumption outlets. For example, we can buy wine in a retail liquor store, and we can buy wines we can consume wines in restaurants, bars, and hotels. And in the hotels, there are even a lot of outlets like lobby bars, mini room, and then the banquet wines. So we need to really cater about every occasion and every outlet we drink about wine. What wine we put in the lobby bar, what wines we put in the restaurant wine list, and what wine we put in a mini bar. So that really very detailed brand building, channel building, planning. I learned about all the things in China. And then there was a time when I Coke, Coke in China, they are very strong in soft drinks, soft sparkling drinks, which we have Coke, Fanta, and Sprite, etc. But they have huge challenge about the aging population in China, and especially after COVID, many people are health conscious. So Coke in China is making their portfolio strategy to total beverage company. They need to also develop the adult drinks, for example, and they need to develop the more healthy drinks like juices, and plant-based milk, etc. So not only sparkling drinks. So with their transition of their portfolio strategy, they need to develop the network, the distribution for the new category, like adult drink, like what I mentioned, alcoholic beverage, etc. So this has a very similar distribution network with wines and beers, etc. So I had the opportunity to join Coke to help them develop business infrastructure to cater with the new product category, because where we sold Coke, Sprite might not be where we sold the alcoholic drinks or premium drinks in China. So that was a very good opportunity to establish new business infrastructure with Coke, which helped me to gain my experience as a leader for a sole function independent business unit. So at that time, I was in charge of business strategy and also the sales, the finance, the inventory planning, etc. So at that time, I became like I do everything. I'm in charge of
Wow.
everything.
Wow. One of the things that you touched on there, like first off, the experience at Coke is super cool because Coke is like one of the biggest companies on earth. Period. That's a pretty impressive resume to kind of be able to work with them and to establish their Chinese market. I think that's amazing. You were chatting about how when you were in France and you were trying to develop the wine market in China from France and how challenging that is. Is that, if you are running an import export business and you are trying to sell from one country to another country, it kind of sounds like the answer to that really is you have to establish a home base in the country that you plan to market to. Is that what ended up happening around, with all of the wineries or vineyards in France?
Not all, but basically the big company, the huge company, they realize that if they want to develop the market, they need to be present in the market. It's impossible, do it remotely. Because before the wine importation is not that developed, but when the market is booming and you need to be based in the market to how to say that, to develop it. You need to know your customer, and you need to know consumer, and you need to know how the channel is different. It's like what I do here in Canada. I can't do it if I'm not here in the market, and I can't do it if I don't travel. So I think that was part of the reason what I do now is that I like travel, and I travel a lot. When I was in France, it's like I said, France is about over it's the population is the whole country is less than my province, my homeland province. And and it's easy because Europe, they are very small countries, so it was very easy to travel. I fly to Paris, to London. It was only 1 hour by plane. and 1 hour to Amsterdam. And I can drive to Italy and I can drive to Spain. It's such a small country, so I can easily travel, and it's easy to get to know another country. So from my time in France, I travel a lot. And in China, China is a huge country, and I travel almost every part of China, because even in China, the market is complex. The western part and the eastern part is totally different. The eastern part is coastal part, so it has a lot of port. So the import export business is more developed there. You like the famous city Beijing, Guangzhou, Shanghai, they are all at the east part of China. And at the west part of China is much less developed. So people has less knowledge about wine. And if you want to sell some premium wine, it's hard. It's hard to sell. So I travel a lot. Even when I came to Canada, within 1 year, I traveled to Vancouver and I traveled to Calgary to discover more about local culture. I think if we are doing export and import business, it's one hand with the map and another hand with a calculator. So we need to know how the city is like. We need to know how the country is like. So I think it's easy. It's important to travel around to know different business culture. And at that time, the big wineries started to be present in China. But the wineries most of them are small and medium-sized winery. They have only like 10 to 20 hectare of vineyards. So they don't have that budget to establish, for example, an office or to hire a sales team in China. China is so big. If you have only one person, you can't efficiently travel in China. And most of the countries hire, for example, a sales team. One cover the eastern part, the other cover the southern part, the other need to cover the central part. So if you have only one person in China, it's difficult to travel and to manage your customers and your logistics, because China is so big. So at that time, many producers don't have that budget, and they don't know the local regulations and tax rules, etc. It's just like what I came to Canada. I didn't know anything about company tax, personal tax, and the regulations, the rules, etc. I don't know the rules to sell wines in Canada. So that was a major challenge for many producers in Bordeaux at that time, to establish a major office or team in China, because before doing this, they have to invest a lot to know local laws, regulations, to be able to do so. So at that time, most of the small producers, they don't have the tools, they don't have the network to develop China market. But when I travel back to China, I know there is an increase in opportunity. So I would like to help those small producers, to help them to develop China market, to bring their wines to the table to Chinese, and to let them enjoy what we made in Bordeaux. We make good wines, not expensive, and they are family-owned business. So that was my passion, to help them, because when I live with the growers and the producers, I know how they care about weather. Before harvest, if there was a rain, I see that everybody is nervous. They care. They are nervous about the harvest. They are nervous about the grape quality. And because sometimes there were frost and there were hail, and every element can impact the production. So I know how they care about the product, their grape, their vineyard. So I really like to help. I like to help them. And I was the few people that speak French and Chinese at the same time, and I'm willing to travel. So I bring the wines to the trade shows in China, participate in trade shows, and to let the consumer importers be able to taste the wines, and then I can meet them personally in person. So at that time, even when I was based in Bordeaux, I travel back to China, I think 3 or 4 times a year, because I need to participate in the show, organize the tasting, dinners, etc. but I know it's important to spend more time in China. So I made that decision to go back to China to know more about the market, to be
Wow.
able, because it's not enough to sell your wine to China to the importers. It's also important to know where the importers sell your wines, at which price they sell your wines, and is the price reasonable, and how the margin, the value chain is like, how they build their distribution channel. Are they selling the wine to the restaurants or to liquor stores or online? And only you know how they sell, you can able to know how to support them. You
Yeah.
know. So the reason why I go back to China is to really understand what is the distribution channels like in China, and how is the value chain organized, who has how much profit, how many profit has the importer have, how many profit is distributor have, and how many profit is the outlet have, and also what is the retail price, and is that retail price competitive and acceptable to the consumers. I need to understand everything. So what is the route to market?
Yeah.
Many things. If I
Wow.
was based in Bordeaux, I can't talk over the phone with the customers. So it's really important to go to the market, to visit the market, to see what are the competitors doing. So I made that decision to come back, and I really did not regret that decision, because I learned a lot in China. The China is developing so fast, and it can has double digit increase every year in China. So I really learned a lot, and because that experience, I know how to introduce a brand to China. I know after the introduction how to develop the channel strategy to China. Is that more fit for retail channel, or is that more fit to a restaurant channel or online channel? And after the channel building, how to calibrate the customers, who is the best customers for this channel,
Yeah.
and how to talk with the customers. And then after everything is done, how to activate, how to do channel activation, how we design the value chain to guarantee that everybody is earning a reasonable profit and it's
Yeah.
a profitable, sustainable business. So I really learned everything when I was in China. So that was the reason I'd be able to have the chance to get into the Coke, because when the Coke want to develop more beverage category, like the alcoholic ready to drink and plant-based milk, and then some premium sparkling wines, which can be how you do cocktails in a bar, and you
Yeah.
need to add sparkling water. So Coke wanted to develop such mixer in China market, and they don't have that network like bars, premier restaurants, and live houses, and clubs, etc. Even you can listing Coke in a club, but few people drink Coke in a club or Sprite in a club. So I really bring that resources and network to Coke when they want to develop such categories. And when I was in Coke, because I worked from producer and I worked with importer, and I know how the importer develop their distributors. So I really worked from top to the end.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why I was able to develop such business strategy with Coke, because I know the what is working with abroad, with the factories abroad, and I know how to how to do the importation, and I know how after we bring such goods, how we establish the route to market, the value chain, and the channel activation plan. And I know I like travel, So that was the reason why I had the chance to work in Coke. And I think Coke, in reverse, it bring me a lot, and I learned a lot in Coke,
Yeah.
because when we do trading, we might not focus on brand building. We are focused more on profits, on revenue growth, and on channels. But wine is very, how to say, miscellaneous. We have many wines, and they have each separated name. We have over 10,000 chateaux in Bordeaux, and they are each are very small. So they can't. It can be like beverage. If you have a larger demand, you can produce more. Wine is limited. If you have only 10 hectares, you can only
Yeah,
produce limited quantity.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they are not able to bring a brand strategy like Coke because they can produce unlimited. Every vintage is limited. If we produce 3,000 vintage 2019, if you drink that bottle, there will be one bottle less.
Yeah.
So they are in different philosophy, but I really, the experience in Coke inspired me a lot how to do branding. And it's not only important to do brand awareness, but also brand love. You need
Yeah.
to you need to be in the heart of consumer. If we are eating hot pots, we're thinking drinking a Coke. Yeah, occasion based. So basically, that was the reason why I made that decision to go back to Canada, to go back to China. Sorry, and all the experience are useful when I made my decision to came into Canada and to study the possibility. Because when I came to Canada, I didn't think about start up a business. I didn't know what life will be here. I don't know.
Mhm.
I need to like I need to resolve all the basic things like my health card, how to have a driver's license here, and I didn't know life here. But before I came to Canada, I know Canada is a very cold country. You produced very low volume wines, and you have few wine regions, which is very excellent. But you export not that much. So Canada is not a classic wine producing country. You have beautiful wine regions, but the volume is not that much because you are very cold. The grape can't get mature in majority of the areas. So I know that the like 70% of wine consumption is imported wine here in Canada.
Yeah.
I think there absolutely have some opportunity. And when I came to Canada, I didn't make that decision to start up my company, but I did some market research. I had friends in Coke who work with the consulting company, and I have asked them for help. Can you help me to grab some reports of Canada retail industry, wine industry, beer industry, liquor industry? I get many reports. I read that reports, and I checked from the website on the very macro figures like populations, tax after income, how many wine consumption per capita. So I did a lot of figure data research on myself, and also I asked my friend who is working with the consulting company to grab some reports for me, which will be very insightful for me. And also I have on the daily life, I visit the liquor stores. I observe the people in the liquor stores are there only like cashier who is sitting there and wait for people to buy the wine and scan for them, or they are kind of seller people. They come to me and ask, how can I help? Are you looking for some wines, or what can I help? And also, are there advisory like consultant type of person? I observe in each liquor store I visit how their sales teams are and how the people are offer service to the people, to the consumers. And I watch every retail price of each product, because I have worked in France in a producer. So basically I know the main cost of each wine. I know, and I see the retail price, so I will be able to calculate on myself how margin is generated for the liquor store, how the value chain is, because I know the cost, and I can ask the logistic company what are the freight. So very fast I know what the value chain will be like here in Canada, I think there might be some opportunity if I'm doing this. And also, I have to do many things. I have to check the regulations and the tax rules. I go to many people. So one of the good things I think about Canada is that the people here are very friendly. I'm very appreciative for their help because wine industry is a very narrow industry. There are few people in their industry, especially in Alberta. Most people I met are doing insurance and construction, oil, gas, energy, etc.
Yeah.
Few people are doing how to say that, wine, liquor, or beverage industry. So I don't have like people to ask, but I need to know the local business culture first. So I
Yeah.
found your
Yeah.
podcast and started to yeah. So that was something I mentioned to you because when I came here, if I want to do something, I need to know the culture and I need to know the rules. To know the culture, I have do some research. I have meet people every day, and I generally curious and I observe everything. And I found your podcast. Just type in the podcast business development or etc. like this, and I found your podcast, and I thought you were presented very holistic at one side and then very detailed another side. You offered many advices. I think that's what's similar with what we do in China and in France. And you mentioned about something, for example, how long we follow up is a good thing, and how many like how to say that, gifting, the value for gifting would be reasonable here, and very small details. I listen to everything and I compare what is different and what is similar with China and France. So I learned the culture thanks to your podcast. And then I have joined the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe they don't have similar industry with me, but they are very helpful person. I introduced them. I work in wine industry and I just newcomer here. I want to know the local rules and tax. And even though they are not in same industry with me, they recommend me some people. Hey, I know this guy. He is working on tax. Maybe he can offer some help to you, and you can contact him. So I really appreciate all the help the local people offer to me because that means a lot to me. So
Yeah.
I would be able to learn fast about all the rules and regulations. And lucky thing is that the Alberta Gaming and Liquor Cannabis Board is based in Edmonton, the
Okay.
AGLC. So
Okay.
I was able to visit to their office to ask about all the rules, the handbook, if I want to do something. So I gathered all the information and I started. And then the final question for me is that if I go to work or if I start a company, you know, because I know I had many years of experience already, but the fact is that I have zero experience in Canada. And I was when I was get my PR last year, and I need to make that choice if I go to find a work or if I establish my own company. So that was a really very
Hmm.
challenging question. I can go
Yeah.
to Coke because I have a connection with Coke still, and they can refer me if I want to join Coke here in Canada. The headquarters is in Toronto. So many uncertainties and many things I didn't know. So I made that question to myself: what makes me more happy, and which choice can make me bring more my values to
Yeah.
to the society or to the community where I am? What makes me more excited? So after all that question, and also after all the studies I did with the regulation, tax, all the basic things, what is the rules if I establish liquor agent here in Canada, and I need to also study customs, tax, all the things about
Yeah.
importation, about clearance, customs, how did that work? So after all the analysis, I finally made that decision to establish my own business here. That was part of the reason it's like, when that journey started, I developed business from 0 to 1. I
Yeah.
based in Bordeaux to develop China market. That was something 0 to 1. And when I joined Coke, uh, even though it was a mature company, but my work is to do a business from 0 to 1 as well, because Coke developed a new category and they want to reach the channel and the outlets they never reached before. So I think I had that experience from 0 to 1. I think this is another adventure
Yeah.
from 0 to 1. I think I need to take that challenge. So that was the reason why my company name is Adventure Trading Company. So VIN in French means wine. And it's a combination of adventure
I love
and
it.
wine here. So it's adventure of a business and it's adventure of my personal life. So that
Yeah.
was the reason why I named the company Adventure.
It's a
So
great name.
yeah.
Do you mind if I pause you here for just for a second? I just have a couple questions. I want to chat with you because as a newcomer to Canada, first off, you've been a newcomer before, but I just wanted to get an understanding of what is it like to not experience Canada and come here? Was it a culture shock for you? Is it very similar to what it was like to move to France? What is it like to come from somewhere else to Canada, first off?
Hmm, I think the first is the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been the summer and then the winter comes, and
Yeah.
some people when I came here, and many people first I know they remind me that you need to experience the winter here to say if you like Canada or not. Yeah, so the weather here is a challenge because I didn't have that experience before uh, going through a winter like minus 20 to 30, and I was afraid before, but I was excited to see how it will be.
Yeah.
I don't know ski and I don't know skating. I was imagining what I can do during the winter and how the logistic is organized here in Canada, because the wine, the beverage, they demand some temperature for logistic. If it is below 0, it will frozen.
Yeah.
So I was curious about how the logistic here in Canada and how they manage the inventory warehouse for all the wine industry and the beverage, etc. And the second is that I think the local people here are very friendly. They are very happy to offer help, which is a little different than in China and in France. In China and France, we have also many people offer to help, but in China, because the rhythm of life is so fast, everybody is focused on their own things. They don't have much time to offer that help. I meet some excellent people, but one thing I feel about Canada is that I feel the people are here are very friendly. It's a very inclusive country, and they welcome many other cultures. I see many Chinese people, Korean, Indian, and I know 20 people, and 50 of them are immigrants.
Wow. Yeah.
I know there
Yeah.
are many immigrants here to Canada, which may be a good thing and a bad thing for Canada. So
Well, you know what? My family, you go back far enough, we were from Europe, right? Like we have Scottish and British, Kennedys and Croswells, my background are Scottish and British people, right? Like everybody here is from somewhere else originally. And
yeah,
I know some people like to forget that, but the reality is Canada does not exist. United States does not exist. The only people who were here were the Aboriginals. Everybody else is from somewhere else. And so we're all immigrants to North America for the most part.
so that was the reason why I think we have an inclusive culture here. I don't feel I have a how to say that I have a barrier It's like I'm excluded here. They have a center for newcomers to help you set up, to help you to learn language here. So I think this is really a very inclusive country, and they are welcome and friendly to another culture. And another thing, I think the French is very slow in rhythm. The French people and Chinese people are too extreme. French is super slow. They
Yeah.
have 35 paid holiday work per year, and they
Wow.
make bridge. When I work in France in May, I work for 10 days. Because French people like vacation, and they have by labor law, they have 35 paid holiday work.
Wow.
Yeah, and also in China, everybody is have a super fast rhythm because the country is developing so fast. And
Hmm.
every young people is like we say 996 is that we work from 9 and end the work in 9 p.m. and we work 6 days a week. So when I was in China, the life become very intensive.
Yeah.
I adapted a lot when I said, why is everybody in a rush? Why so hurry when I was go back to China?
Yeah.
I think Canada is in the middle. It's much quicker. It's much efficient than France, but it's
Yeah.
slower in China. So I think for me, it's a perfect balance. We still have a good rhythm, and we still have life.
I know a lot of Canadian entrepreneurs who are working a 996 too. Me included at times. Like it's what entrepreneurship is a different beast though, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
just working like a normal job and you only have to work 9 to 5, you're only going to work 9 to 5. When it's your own business, as me and you know,
Mm,
you're going to work whatever it takes. And sometimes that is a 996 and maybe other days that is just a 9 to 5. But I think most of us are working pretty hard, especially if we're running our own companies.
yeah. Yeah, especially for me, a newcomer, I need to be making more efforts because I have so many things to learn and to develop. So I think, and another thing I forgot to mention is that I think Canada has a tie with French culture because the country like to preserve Francophone culture,
Yeah.
and I see that every goods is bilingual. Even though
Yes.
Edmonton, a few people speak French, but everything is written in French and English. The fact that I speak French helped me a lot here in Canada, because the Canada want to preserve French culture. So I'm a francophone company. So I was able to um, join now the name is Parallel Alberta. It's a
Yes.
French
Yeah. Yeah.
community. They offer help to me as well. So generally, I'm very appreciate and thankful for the Canadian people who offered me help. They always thinking, "Hey, Chloe, next week there has like a club holding an event. They are have the wine tasting. I think this event may be interesting for you. Are you willing to come to discover a few, etc." So many people introduce me some events, like I can discover a little the local industry, and they introduce me that we have like wine festival, Rocky Mountain Wine Festival here in Edmonton. You can have a look and know more about events. Maybe that will be helpful to you.
Yeah.
So really, I think I'm lucky because people offer me help, and they never knew me, and I never help them, but I think it's a mutual. But I think the local people is very generally very helpful, and they are very friendly. So I
Yeah.
appreciate a lot that in a Canadian culture.
Yeah, yeah. I know especially Edmonton, right? Edmonton, I grew up here, but the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce and just the people that are willing to go out on a line to help you here is next level. There's no way that I could have come as far as I have if the Edmonton business community wasn't just such an amazing community of people. You're right. It really is a community. And I wanted to chat with you about that because you came to Canada me and you talked and you said your mom had come down to visit, your parents had come down to visit, and you hadn't seen them in an incredibly long time. And are you in Canada completely by yourself? Like, do you have any family here?
I have me and my husband. We moved here. We know each other when we are in France, so we know
Yeah.
each other for years already. And then when I was back in China, after 1 year, he was back to China as well, and we both work in Shanghai. So we were like kind of reconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came here with my husband. We're two of us, and he is an engineer in automobile industry.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I guess like for me, the part that just blows my mind is that like I think of how important it is to have community and family and like how many things that I couldn't do without my amazing family to help me out. And I see people like you who immigrate here, and I've talked to quite a few that have done it completely alone. Like you said, just a husband and wife come to Canada and you got to build fresh. And I think it's incredibly commendable and scary. And I just wanted to speak a little bit to the scary aspect of it. What is it like being in a new place? Give me the newcomer experience. What is it like moving to a new place and realizing that you can't leverage your family to help you?
Um, because I have the idea of moving to Canada, and my parents can't understand it. And
Hmm.
I say, why you want to leave China? And you're in Coke, such a good position, such a good opportunity, and you have much more potential growing in the company. Because at that time, my leaders supported me a lot, and they put a lot of attention in developing the new business infrastructure. And my parents can understand me because I already back to China. They are happy that I can live with them, even though we're in different cities, but we can travel by flight just 2 or 3 hours. And they can understand why I have a good job already in Shanghai, and I have my car, my own apartment in Shanghai, and I want to give up all this and to go to a country and I never
Yeah.
been to and I had never experienced to. They can understand that, but I got them support. They know I'm a travel person and I'm a risk taker.
Sure.
The fact that I met some challenge and I overcome the obstacles make me very excited, and I know I can do something in a new country, and I know I can leverage, I can bring my value here because I have a huge network in France, and I speak French, I speak Chinese, I speak English. I think I evaluated many things as a newcomer from three aspects. The first is knowledge. Have I got enough knowledge about the industry? Have I get enough knowledge about the life here in Canada? And the second skill is that the second aspect is that skill. Do I have enough skills to be able to live in a new country? Do I have the adaptability, the capability of building like work here to communicate with other people? And the third thing is network. Do I have a new network which I can leverage to help me to do what I will do doing after? In terms of knowledge, I think I traveled a lot. I can imagine that the life in the Canada and the life in France is very different. But I had that experience of going to a country I never been to, and I had that experience to learning a language from 0 to 1 and to know more little by little the culture. So I think I will be able to learn fast. I'm a quick learner, and in terms of skills, I think I am a very adaptable person because I traveled a lot and lived in each country for years. I adapt fast because, for example, when I was 18, I went to France. I feel lonely because
Hmm.
I don't have any friends. And the first time I had my birthday, I'm like extrovert person. I speak a lot and I talk a lot. I like to spend times with friends,
Yeah.
and every time my birthday, I will invite do a party. But the first time when I birthday in France, I don't have any friends. I was
Mhm.
alone, and many of my friends in China send me messages, and I cried the night,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
don't have friends and I don't have the ability to have more friends because I can't speak well French. I can't communicate well with them. So I think the loneliness is a huge challenge. But I have experienced that before. So and now I'm more elderly. So I think this could be not a challenge for me. So for the skills, I think the communication skills is okay, and I'm a quick learner and adapt very well. And I'm an intercultural person. I always think myself an international citizen. So I don't say I'm from China, and I can basically travel everywhere. And I'm happy to communicate with different people. And in terms of network, I think as soon as I have ability to build my network, you know I think it should be okay. So after caring about the three things, I think I can overcome the obstacles here. So I
Yeah.
just came, and luckily I have my husband with me together, and we are like two friends. We exchange every day what you heard, what you observe, who you talk to, and what's the story. And
Yeah.
also gradually, I make friends of some new immigrants from different countries. So I think it should be okay. It's happy things to have some people who share similar experience with us, and we can quickly get together to share our challenge and our news.
Yes. Yes. I want you to know that I think you're incredibly brave.
Thank
I
you.
like honestly, it terrifies me as a Canadian, someone who's been born here. I mean, I haven't traveled too far. Not outside of North America. And I just like, honestly, the idea of moving to a different country is pretty scary, I think, for a lot of people. Like, I see immigrants and people who come to Canada from different places. And like you said, some of them have spent time in different countries, maybe years in different countries. And it blows my mind a little bit. I still find it incredibly brave and incredibly wild that that's things that people actually do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want you to know that like what you've done a lot of people never accomplish. A lot of people never start a company, and they especially don't start a company in their first year in a new country, right? Like you're the second person I've spoken to who's done that. And I found it incredibly incredible then, and I find it just as incredible now. So congratulations on your bravery and your success.
Thank you. It's like you. When we started, we never know it will end up. But as soon as we anticipate and we will prepare everything, it's just come out of our imagination. You never thought you would have so many episodes and so many guest
True.
speakers.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you have many listeners, audience never reach out to you, but they always listen to you. So
That's right.
you might never imagine that.
Yeah. And I know right now we have a lot of people listening from around the world to this very episode, right? Who maybe are making the plan to take the jump to a different country, who maybe are even thinking about coming to Canada. What advice might you have for those people, Chloe, who are just like on the fence and they might want to come, but you know what? It's scary. It's scary to pull that trigger. What would you say to them?
Uh, I think prepare for the worst and hope for the best, because we live in a world of VUCA. VU is volatile. Volatile, it changes very fast. And the U is uncertainty. We may face many uncertainties when you came to a new country. And C is complexity. The world and society might be very complex, and you may face many, many problems because you need to well set up your life before you can set up your work, no matter you're working for a company or no matter you want to start up a company. And then it's the ambiguity. you never know what will happen, and there is not many things we can see and we can forecast. We try to forecast what we can thinking of, but there are always something surprising, So when I made my decision, came to Canada, I was thinking, if I might find a job, it may take me 6 months or 1 year. I may not find a job. Can I accept that? Can I accept the fact that I am unemployed or I'm under financial pressure if I came to a new country? And even when I was in France, it was the same problem. When I graduated, I worried, can I find a job in France? If I can't find a job, I need to go back to China. So we're prepared for different plans. What if? Ask a lot of what if questions and the answers to what if questions. So, and the second thing I think is that you have to be able to endure some loneliness, and you need to know how to be with yourself, because when we come to a new country, there are a lot of barriers, culture barriers and language barriers. We might feel that we're alone, and we have that desire to communicate, but we don't know how to express ourselves. So at that time, we might be very feel lonely, and we'll be homesick at times. We can't meet our family because we're so far. We can't just, okay, we might fly back to home once a year, twice a year, but be ready that you might be far with your home. And I was lucky one, because every time I made my decision, I always got my family's support. My parents said, if I decided to go to Canada, and if I think it would be a better choice, if I'm happy, and they will support my decision. So I was a lucky guy. But for the others, I think about your family. Are your family can accept that you are very far away from them? And is there enough tools or travel that you can meet your family? I think this is the second advice I would like to offer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's advice that I can't give. Like, I have zero experience in what that is like. I'm always in awe when I speak to people who have made that jump, and not only made that jump, but then turned around, launched a company, made that successful. I find it incredibly inspiring. Even as someone who was born here, I find the immigrant to Canada success stories, they blow my mind. They really do. I'm never not surprised and not impressed. So let's just lead it right into adventure trading. Let's talk about it. So you have an import export business based here in Canada. Talk to me about it. What is it?
Adventure is a wine liquor agent which specializes in fine wines. Because with my experience, I work in France for years, and wine is a business card for France. So I had that passion to bring the authentic wines, which reflects the terroir of French, to the local consumers. So Adventure is such a company that introduce the wines to Canadian consumers, and we our target customer is the local liquor stores, and whether they are independent or chain, or they are retailer liquor stores. So with and other restaurants, etc. So our portfolio is the fine wines from main region of France, like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Champagne, etc. This is part of our portfolio. And the other service we are developing is a private label service. If you have your own brand, for example, Costco has their own brand, Kierland, and they want to develop their own wines, which is affordable price, and we can offer that service to develop your own private label wines. And you can choose what you want to offer to your consumers, like Bordeaux, Champagne, etc. In the future, we would also like to develop the section of wine education, because I am a certified wine educator, and it's my passion to share my experience and knowledge about wines. So in the future, I would like to do more tastings, trainings to help our customers to be able to to increase and to improve their ability to tell about wines to the consumers. So that basically was the three parts of our business here.
Amazing. Amazing. So basically, you can't sell to an individual, right? You can only sell to restaurants, retailers, and liquor distributors.
Yes, and we are a liquor agent. We can only sell our wines to the licensees, whether you are liquor stores or restaurants, and so we can sell wine directly to the individuals. However, if you are an individual, you want to buy wines, and you came to me, I can introduce you to the liquor stores or to the licensee that we cooperate and give you a nice rate.
Amazing, amazing. And so you service across Canada, or like specifically just Western Canada right now?
Right now, we are just covering Western Canada because in the Eastern Canada, the wine regulation is in monopole. All the liquor store is owned by the government. Like in Ontario, is LCBO, and in Quebec, it's SAQ.
Okay, so basically, it's just much more. It's not possible, really.
No, it's not possible at this moment. But Western Canada is more flexible.
Amazing, amazing. This has been awesome, Chloe. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your entrepreneurial journey with us. I think there's been a lot of lessons and some motivations, especially for our newcomer audience and for people around the world. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for the incredibly kind words. I know you connected with me and just shot me a note when you found the podcast. And so we've been chatting for quite a while now. Like I want to say like 6-7 months at least. And I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind words. And thanks for reaching out.
Thank you, Kelly. And I'm happy to share about my experience. And I think I'm happy to see that everybody is making effort to grow their business. And I encourage all the entrepreneurship to reach out if they have, like me, some questions, newcomers, and setting up in a new country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Until next time, this has been episode 236 of the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
Hey, rock stars, it's time to elevate your workspace. At Work Office Furniture has been transforming offices across North America for over 40 years. With premium furniture and expert design solutions. Whether you need adjustable desks, office pods, or a complete workspace overhaul, At Work has everything to help you create a space that drives success. The Business Development Podcast Studio has relied on At Work from the start, and their products have been nothing short of extraordinary. But At Work isn't just about furniture. It's about crafting environments where business thrives. Their expert team designs workspaces and maximizes productivity, comfort, and creativity. Rodney from At Work says it best.
At Work's been in business for over 40 years now, and we're growing across Canada and beyond because we take care of people. We don't just sell office furniture, we make sure it works. It's fast and hassle-free.
At Work is on the move, bringing high-quality office furniture and expert design solutions to more businesses than ever. Whether upgrading a home office or outfitting a corporate space, At Work delivers and installs your ideal workspace anywhere in North America. A well-designed office is an investment in your success. Visit atwork.ca, that's atwork.ca, to explore their incredible range and transform your workspace today. At Work Office Furniture, empowering entrepreneurs to create, thrive, and design their futures.